Sorry. Welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City of Redland Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this is our, Fishing Ramblings podcast. And I titled it where we're going to see what's lurking below. Well, that's kind of a precursor to a certain thing that I've been kind of playing around with. I've got several underwater cameras to include the Go Fish Cam right here. Okay, right here. And then I've got another one, the Water Wolf camera. But for this one, we're going to talk about the Go Fish Cam because the other day I came up with a bait. I call it the Gummy Gums. And it has the consistency of basically gummy bears. And I got a simple video explaining how I put it together. But basically, it's this little gelatin, unscented gelatin. But this time I went with some bass attractant, some power bait bass attractant, and I was able to put that together and take it out to the local pond and play around with it some. And want to just show you some video, and it's mainly just for scouting. Temperature was really hot, so definitely ended up not staying on the hook as good as it normally does. I may even just use less water, and that might also work as well. I'm just going to play it by ear, but let's go show you what we were able to capture with those gummy gums on the camera using the Go Fish Cam. All right, so bear with me. Let me flip over to the video. Okay, and I'll open that up a little. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going out to the local pond. There's those gummy gums. Put it on the hook. I'm using basically a size, I'd say about a size 6 hook. Throw it in the water and just kind of looking at maybe what will show. And in this case, I think the first thing that showed up is, a turtle. And you'll see him show up here real quick. I am surprised how clear the water is, even though it was really green and murky. But that said, the gummy gums definitely attracted the fish as well as the turtles. And I was surprised with that bass attractant. I was hoping to see a bass or two, and I think later on I might see a glimpse of one. I think it was about midway into the video. Anyhow, I'm checking out these bluegill. They're just popping away at it, and it comes off fairly quickly after they start schooling around it, and they'll just break it off in pieces and steal the bait from me. But what is promising is, I think with a little adjustment here or there, I might be able to get them to do much better in this case. Let me switch off the camera. There we go. All right. That way we can just stay focused on the video. All right. So you can see kind of murkiness in the background. The bait's in the lower right. And you can see another bluegill popping away at it. And in this case, when I use the recipe, I kind of adjusted things, adding more water. I may do less water, maybe 4 ounces of water or 2 ounces of water instead of getting that, 6 ounces, I think is what the total was. But you can see they're popping away. And here I think I'm using the Go Fish Cam while it's floating on the surface. But later on, I believe I'll switch it out and get it back down to the bottom again. Bluegill are coming about. So I did have to pull the camera several times away from some of the bluegill that were around. Byron Gutierrez. Hi, Byron. Thanks for joining. I'm just taking a look at some what's lurking below with the Go Fish Cam on the Fishing Ramblings channel. Oh yeah, there's that turtle coming in there and just kind of taking things away. And here I'm trying to have it run it away from it, and I got a little piece of egg yarn on there too to continue to attract the fish, even though they may have stolen the bait. So I find that kind of works out pretty good. Alrighty, and then I think here's another one that's in there. Yeah, another one coming back. Yeah. And so I'm kind of playing it by ear. Right now I'm fishing it under the float that the Go Fish Cam comes with. But I think I'm going to be pulling that off and let it sink to the bottom. And that might get a better view of other things that may be lurking below. But what is promising, this is that Gummy Gums bait that I made with that unscented gelatin. I'm pretty happy with it. I wouldn't take it out in the 100+ degree heat that we've been having here lately. It has a hard time staying on the hook because it does soften up on you. You may, if you want to play around with it and adjust the amount of water in the recipe, that'll definitely tighten things up. Just be careful, because if you don't put enough, it'll get really, really hard, and by then it detracts from the fish taking the bait and whatnot, because it'd be really hard to pull off. All right. Excuse me. All right, here's some more of those bluegill, just kind of moving about, taking a look at things. I did make another dough bait recipe. I've taken it out twice now with the water wolf camera to see what's been lurking below, and got some promising results there. I'm noticing that they are being able to steal the bait fairly quickly off the hook. But what is pretty interesting is, let me go ahead and turn the camera back on and switch this out. Okay. All right. So that was the Go Fish Cam right here. All right. And I've got it, just a short piece of that weed eater line here, and that's kind of holding things in place. And then let's see, I've got this deal. This is the gummy gums that I was mentioning earlier. Okay, well, pretty about the consistency of a gummy gum or a gummy bear. All right, I can definitely smell the bass attractant, the power bait bass attractant. So I think I'd take out another one where we'll end up seeing a fish or two as well. So here, let me see if I can look around and pull that other video into this. Let's see. Media, video. I think I've got the other one where I hit the local pond. Let's see. Yeah. This one. Okay, let's go and post that one real quick here. All right, let me just open it up a little. Oh, correct. Oop, shoot. Okay, and this is now that dough bait that I put together. And let me go ahead and turn the camera off. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this video. This one's using that dough bait recipe that I just posted, I think about 5-10 minutes ago. And this is just taken out to the local pond, and I'm just putting it on the hook. In this case, I'm using the water wolf camera. All right, and immediately you can start seeing these guys start coming in and popping away at it. Excuse me. All right, it's going to sink to the bottom. Boom, right on the bottom, and there's the initial set of fish that come in and take a look at this. A bunch of bluegill. You can see them coming through. Very simple recipe. All it is a cup of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt, followed by a tablespoon of vanilla. That vanilla definitely makes it really, really have a great aroma. You feel like taking a bite of it yourself because it smells so good. And then you add a cup of water, warm water, and mix it up so it's like a pancake batter. Put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Once it sets, let it sit for about 10 minutes or so, and then you're able to pull it out, put it in a Ziploc bag, and you can ball these up and make these little bread balls or dough bait balls with them. And you can see here, there's a little pond right down the road, and they're just coming up, popping away at it, going by. Even when they steal the bait, I think there's enough of that scent in the air or in the water that they're kind of lurking there or staying nearby for the next one. So I'm going to reset here, cast it out, and normally this pond, it's mainly bluegill, catfish, Over the years, it's been the occasional bass. But what's pretty nice about this, being able to scout around and take a look at different things, is you'll see kind of back in the background at some point several bass going by. So pretty nice knowing that we do have some bass lurking in the pond as well. All right, so there's the bluegill just popping away at that dough bait. All right, and I do like it. I've got it in the fridge right now. I did take out a piece the other day, or a portion of it, took it out to the local pond, and it handled the 100-degree weather no problem. Just keep it in a container to keep it moist, and it easily forms the dough bait balls, and you can definitely try it on different hooks and whatnot. I think the next time I go out, I'm going to take out the center pin reel and rod and put it on a circle hook and hit one of the other ponds here and see if I'll get something to strike there, because definitely can get a bite or two with that dough bait. All right. Earlier, I was just showing that there was the goldfish cam with that gummy gum DIY bait that I made, which is that unsetted gelatin. It works, just it doesn't handle the heat as well as this dough bait. I was out there a good hour, 2 hours, 100+ degrees, and this baby was holding really nicely onto the hook, staying moist. I kept in that container, and not a problem being able to cast it out, and it stayed on the hook fairly well, and immediately we're getting bites, and kind of buried at the bottom over here, but at some point there'll be a fish or two to knock it out of this greenery on the bottom. Also, with that water wolf camera, did play around with the 3D printer, and there was a design that they call them wings that you can attach to the water wolf camera. And what I noticed with it is it definitely keeps the camera upright in a better position, and it also helps sink more slowly through the water column, so that you might get some more action shots while you're out there fishing. So I've been happy with that one, and in fact, that's the main reason why I went back out again. Yesterday to try out some more of this dough bait at another pond. Alrighty, so yeah, a little green background and whatnot. But as I'm scouting around with this camera, I do like being able to just confirm that this little pond is not just a bluegill pond. There's some bass in here. Oh, here's where I get one on the line. So, real quick fight, just bring it right in. There it is, a bluegill. All right, I'll get that one off here shortly, and we'll let that one go, and then get back to fishing again. So, there he is. All right, so that dough bait does work. Cast it out again. There they are, hitting it. I threw it up, or I cast it further out, and I was hoping to see if I could attract maybe one of those catfish that was lurking there, but lo and behold, it will attract a bass. I think you'll see it here in a little bit, maybe on the background. Nah, it looks like the bluegill want to play at this point, but stay tuned. You'll see it here in a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, they're still popping away at some pieces of the dough bait that have been knocked off. I went with a bigger hook than normal. I think next time I take out that dough bait, I'm going to do that circle hook and try that center pin floating technique and see if I can get some of those very wary catfish in this pond that I tend to fish here for some of those bruiser-sized catfish that I've caught over the years. All right, so more bluegill. Let's bring it in. Here they are, and just popping away at it again as it sinks to the bottom. Okay, and let's see. Looking to see if that bass will show up here in a little bit. Let's see what's happening. Come on. Let's see. Okay, another cast. More on the bottom. I do like the way those wings on that water wolf camera now fit to give it that more vertical or level view. Before it was kind of canting to the left or right as it hit the bottom, and with that feature now, it's made a world of difference in getting a better shot at what's lurking below. All right. Okay, let's see. More bluegill. More bluegill. All right, so I think I caught, there it is. Okay, bass just went by, and I rebait and I cast again. I think he's going to show up again. Yeah, there he is. All right. So yeah, I was surprised because there he is, and a little bit bigger. Yeah, and I was surprised because normally this pond is mainly just bluegill and catfish, but it's good to know that there's a bass lurking in there, if not more than one bass. So I may have to, from this fish scouting, may have to try some targeting the bass instead of these little bluegill. Because normally I go out here, I'll take the fly rod, take out some poppers or some streamers, and just kind of play around, catch a few of these guys, and do a little catch and release. But hey, if there's a bass in there lurking, I may take out some of that bait finesse gear, BFS fishing, ultralight bait casting style, and give that a try. Let's see. Yeah, there's another bass. Did you guys see it? All right, cool. All right, there's some more of those bluegill. Definitely liking that dough bait. And do check it out. I just posted the recipe for it. It's a really short video. I did it in fast speed. But bottom line, it's very simple. 1 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, and then 1 cup of warm water. Microwave for 2 minutes, and let it sit for 10, and put in a Ziploc bag, and you'll be ready to go. Make your bait on the fly, your dough bait on the fly. All right, and so I'm hoping to get some more of these videos out showing you what that bait does, or what other things are happening underwater. Got to take advantage of these cameras. I've got the Go Fish Cam, which is no longer being sold, and then I've got the Waterwolf 2.0 camera. That's the one that I'm using currently in this video. The earlier video I was showing was the Go Fish Cam. The thing about the Go Fish Cam, it does have that wireless capability, so as it's floating, you can sync to your phone and watch what's happening real time, but unfortunately the battery doesn't last as long. With that Waterwolf 2.0, much improved from the 1.0, that one will actually last me a good 6 hours plus, I've seen. So that one is more of a one that I take out trolling to the local lake, as well as doing some of these bait fishing, scouting things, just to see what's lurking below. And in this case, there's a lot of bluegill in this pond, but it's nice to know that there are some bass lurking here too. So good news there. Got to take advantage of it, you know. Got this underwater camera capability. I did take my Hero 5, and I did make a wireless, or not really wireless, it was more of a technique that you take some cable wire, remove the ends of them, and place it in the back of the camera on the underwater housing, and then place the other piece on the back of your phone, and you're still able to get a decent shot or two underwater. About 4 to 6 feet, I believe, is what I've done before in the past using that. So pretty cool that you can do that. All right, I think that's done. Let's go ahead and knock that one out here, and I'll open up the camera. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Here is the Go Fish Cam. This is the one with the float in place that allows it to look downward. Waterwolf camera I've got back over there charging. Got to charge it up, ready for the next trip. Anyhow, that's all I had this round from a underwater video scouting standpoint. Other than that, at this point in the this is the Fishing Ramblings podcast, part of the realcastfishing.net podcast that I host, combined with the City of Island Fishing Field Team YouTube channel. With that, kind of open up the floor. If you have any questions, comments, discussion items, just throw them at my way, be it here or follow up in some of the comments and whatnot. So I'm just going to give you some quick updates on some of the things that are happening, and then some upcoming things that I plan on doing. And then from there, maybe you can circle back and take a look at what I post. All right, so most recently, the gummy gums, got that posted, some recipe there on how to make that. I do suggest with this 100-degree temperature to maybe go, instead of the 4 ounces of water, go with 2 ounces of water when you mix it up in that recipe. The dough bait recipe is doing really well. You can make it under 15 minutes. It's basically microwave it, mix it up and whatnot, and microwave it again to in its final batch format, and then you can just throw a Ziploc bag. I've already used it twice now with no problem. It stays moist. I can form a ball really quickly. Stays on the hook. Just be careful when those little bluegill are out there. They are definitely tearing up that bait. So I suspect that I might be able to try doing some of these dough bait balls and take it out to another pond where I know there's some catfish lurking. And I believe if I have done in the past with a circle hook, it's done really well with hooking these guys. Let's see other things. Let me see if I can take you to the Water Wolf camera and that 3D printed piece that I've been pretty happy with. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to go add that to the media file here. Let's see. All right, come on. Right here. Okay. All right, I'm going to open this one up a little bit. Okay, so this is that 3D printed piece. I'm going to go ahead and hide the camera again and have the video explain what I'm showing.
Hi. And what that then does is the Water Wolf 2.0. Hi, I'm Glenn.
Bear with me.
Avid Fisherman. Avid Joe. And this round we're talking the 3D Anchor Make Printer M5C and the Water Wolf 2.0 camera. Yeah, 2.0. And what's so cool about this is, well, normally you'll fish this, you can kind of troll with it or let it sit bottom, and you can get this bottom attachment that lets it sit flat. But guess what? With your 3D Anchor Make, you can make your own little wings bottom thing, and it'll sit flat just like so. And what that then does is gives you a nice clear shot of maybe the fishy or your bait with the fish coming in. Hey, think about it. Water Wolf camera, Anchor Make, make your own little accessories. You got a good thing going on.
All right, so hopefully that was helpful and give you an idea, give you a visual as to what I was talking about with that Water Wolf camera. Specifically, it makes these little round circle wings that actually attach to the bottom of the camera. And when I was casting it out yesterday, the day before, with that dough bait, I could cast it out and it made a nice, level, slower sink. And then one thing that with the Water Wolf camera that I notice is as it sinks and your line that's trailing behind it, if you don't pull back on it, it'll tend to land right below the camera, and then your camera goes right on top of it, and now you've got a clobbered view. So with that slow sink and a slight reeling in of the line, I'm able to get a better view of the bait as well as any activity that's happening in front of it. Only problem now is a lot of the places I've done some of this fish scouting has been pretty brutal because the bottom is so clobbered. There's so much sediment, greenery, as well as some things growing up from there. So when that happens, in the case of the Go Fish cam, I'll just use the little float that it comes with. In the case of the Water Wolf camera, I'll use the weight that comes with it. It's actually there's 3 weights that it comes with. I'll go with the smallest weight, and then I'll use a float that it's a 1 7/8 ounce launcher float. Somehow it has that neutral buoyancy to where it'll hold it in the water column, but any slight indication of a strike, it still reacts, or the bobber still reacts to that strike, and I'm able to at least know that something's been playing with the bait. All right, so that's the Water Wolf camera, the Go Fish camera. We talked about the dough bait, the gummy gums bait, as well as the dough bait. In both cases, they've been really good for yours truly. Now the next thing is let's see if we can get something bigger with it, and I think I need to go with that center pin reel and that basically no drag float setup that works really well, especially in these ponds. There's a couple of ponds here where there's some nice sized catfish that you wouldn't think are there. Very popular parks and whatnot. A lot of people fishing, or correction, feeding the ducks, but there are some nice sized bruiser catfish in those ponds, and they tend not to, for those that are actually targeted fishing them, they tend not to strike because any drag on the lure, or correction, on the bait that they're picking up, they're going to drop it immediately. What I find has worked the best is some bread balls, where I just kind of roll it there and free line it, so no weight at all. That's worked really well in the past. Even did some hand lining where I just, hey, it's free, it's drag free and everything. But I do like that center pin reel. Yeah. In fact, here, maybe a picture is better than describing. Let me go grab it real quick. All right, I'm back. Okay, this is that center pin reel that I was mentioning. Okay, right here. This is drag free. So when I cast it, this thing just free spools, and you pretty much use your hand to, actually your pinky in this case, to adjust the line from free falling off the line or free spooling off the line. But what's nice about it, they call it a Wallace cast, where you cast it out and it launches your float and bait and rig and whatnot. And what's nice about this, and I've got it on a Cabela's switch rod, like a 11.5-foot one. They do make special rods just for center pin fishing, but in this case, yeah, I used what I got already. This one's nice because I can hold it and one-handed, still with the butt up against my forearm here, and here I'll just let the fish take the bait and whatnot, and when I'm ready to set the hook, or I want it to slow it down, I'll just use my pinky here, and when I'm ready to set the hook, I'll definitely start bringing in the line and whatnot. So caught several catfish, bullhead with this setup, but I do know there's some bigger ones out there, and I think that dough bait is going to do really well. In fact, here, I keep talking about the dough bait. Let me go run and get that dough bait too. And I just posted the recipe for that, but it's so simple that I think you could get this done in less than 15 minutes or so, and you could already be out there fishing with it. So let me go grab it real quick. All right. Okay, so here it is. This is the dough bait. It's the one that's in the video. You can see I've already used some of it already from the video that I made the other day, and it's staying pretty soft. You pull it off, make a dough or a circle with it. It makes a nice little dough bait ball, and it smells really good. I mean, I don't know. It smells like vanilla bread, and you know, hey, vanilla bread sounds good to me. So that's what I got this round. If you have any questions, I'll give it another 10 minutes or so, and then I'll have to call it quits because, you know, we got to do some 4th of July celebration stuff here. Let me think. Let me go grab the Water Wolf camera that I was just showing you earlier, or talking about earlier. All right, I'm back. Okay, here's the Water Wolf camera. All right, I had the 1.0 when it first came out, and I liked it. The 2.0 is much better. It does better in low light, as well as it has this little cover thing that helps you take out the back here, where it keeps it all waterproof. Plus, it's a lot easier to hit the button and see when you're recording and all that. Also, what's nice compared to the GoFish camera is I have a good idea as to how long the battery is going, plus I can see it's recording. In the past, I've cast that out before and I forgot to hit the record button, or it, for some reason, when I did hit it, it didn't take, and there you go, losing all that footage. Well, now I'm able to see that I'm definitely recording. I definitely have enough battery power to keep fishing. Fishing brothers, what's up? All right, cool. just talking fishing in this case, rambling on about fishing. In this case, I got sidetracked with the Water Wolf camera. I did have the 1.0, and that one I lost while I was kayak fishing. I liked using this for trolling and kind of troll this behind me and see what comes up and hits. And in this case, I ended up losing it. So I replaced it with the 2.0, and I've been very happy with it. I do like the ability to see the status of the camera. They did have it's called a bottom rig that you attach to the bottom right here with the attachment that goes to your line. And I also made some adjustments to it that allows me to troll with it better. But now I've gone straight back to the factory piece, where this is how it comes in the factory, that you attach it right here. Goes right here, you pull back on this tube and push it back in, and it locks it in place, and it's pretty secure. But then with the little 3D printer, I found a design that makes these wings right here. There's the wings. And what I noticed is I cast it out there. Oh, sorry. I'll cast it out there, and if it's upside down and whatnot, it'll flip back, and there it is. I get a good view of what's out there with it being flat on the ground. So before I was getting the canted view where it'd be off to the left or right. Now it's coming in there nice and straight. So I've been happy with that. And then that's when I'm fishing off the bottom or recording on the bottom. When I shift over to floating it on top, that's the launcher float I was mentioning. Okay, I'll just hook it onto it, and it kind of holds here. I'll just kind of do a quick attachment about 2 foot above it, and it'll definitely hold this one with the smallest size weight attached to the back here. Okay, and it kind of does this angle, and it's right in view of where the fish are biting. In fact, I think some folks just joined. Let me go back, and I can show you how that one did with the Water Wolf camera. Okay, so I'll just run this here. Okay. All right, so let's see. I'm getting a warning that my phone is overheating for some reason. Okay. All right, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to hold here, but appreciate y'all joining. In this video, I'm using the Water Wolf camera for my scouting. Earlier video, I was using the Go Fish cam right here. Okay. And here I learned that the local pond carries more than just bluegill. There's some bass lurking below. In fact, let me see if I can jump forward to where those bass are. Nah, I guess I can't fast forward apparently on this thing. Oh wait, no, here we go. Right. I think it's over here. Okay, right here. All right, let's see. Now, I think it's a little bit further. Just want to get you to the part where the bass starts showing up. Okay, so all along I'm thinking, hey, it's bluegill, catfish. Maybe I think I've seen 1 or 2 people catch a bass, or a bass out of here. But lo and behold, here I just saw a bass just go by, and I continue on with the camera, and sure enough, there's another bass here, and it's being attracted by that dough bait. All right, so that dough bait here, and they're still coming by, or maybe they're being attracted by the bluegill who were going for the dough bait, and now these guys want to have some of the bluegill. Hey, who knows? They're bass. I've had it before where bass will swallow a whole bluegill as I'm bringing it in. I've been liking having this Water Wolf camera, as well as the Go Fish camera, to do some of this fish scouting. It kind of tells me how things are going and maybe something's working or not. In another case, I did learn about the turtles, and every once in a while I'd catch a turtle and it'd be hooked on the paw or foot, and I was doing another video, and I had 3-4 turtles come up and steal my bait. And what was happening is the hook would be here, or the bait would be here, let's say, and they would come up and have it in their mouth, but away from the hook so they wouldn't get hooked. And then they were using their left foot to knock the hook off and steal the bait. And they did that consistently, except for an oops or two where the turtle ended up hooking himself on the foot. So, hey, heads up, if you start catching some turtles by accident and they're not in the mouth but on the foot, it's because there is a tendency for these guys to steal your bait, and they'll use their foot to knock that hook off and steal your bait. Learned that with the Go Fish Cam in this case. Also, another case where I was using the Go Fish camera, and not the water whoop, but the Go Fish camera, where excuse me, I was fishing and using another kind of not dough bait, another kind of gelatin gummy gum bait, and you'll see that there's like all these bluegill just popping away at the bait, and then all of a sudden they just disappear, and then out of nowhere a catfish comes in and just steals the bait. So that was pretty good. Heads up, they sense when something big's coming by, so that's probably what explains sometimes when you're out there fishing and you got a great good bluegill bite going on, and then it just shuts off. Well, maybe something big just went by. All right, so good to know that. Especially with the old Water Wolf camera, the 1.0, I took that up to Lake Texoma and I just threw it over the side, let it bounce bottom with a slab and jig rig. And yeah, I was surprised, one, at how clear the water was at the bottom. And then two, the number of fish that was striking my lure, I wasn't hooking them. Several times where they would have it in their mouth and then spit it out, and I had no clue that was happening. The whole time I'm thinking I'm striking out, but sure enough, I've got at least 5 to 6 strikes every time I'm bringing it back up. So, hey, good heads up. At least you know that there was something there instead of just fishing particular water that may be barren. All right. Okay, I think that's all for this round. Appreciate y'all joining today. And with that, I'll go ahead and close out this round. All right, next time, catch y'all later. Good luck and good fishing. We'll be getting the Real Cast Fishing podcast. The next series is the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing series. That's the next one that'll be coming out. But for this one, it's the Fishing Ramblings. In this episode, we're talking about scouting with the Go Fish Cam, additionally talking water wolf cameras and dough baits and gummy gum baits. Right. Next time, we'll catch y'all later. Good luck and good fishing.